What's up, everybody? Soren Baker here on Unique Access. Today we're joined by Talib Kweli.
How you doing?
I'm good, man.
This is my unique access pose.
Yes, you're very unique right there, Talib. Thank you for coming through, man. And one thing, since I've known you for a super long time, before you even really putting out records, and since we've had so many in-depth talks over the years, one of the things that I've noticed that's been really interesting to see how your career's evolved is like, I think we've gone in the public from a discourse to arguments. And I think that you and I have had very in-depth conversations over the years, but you and I have never gotten into arguments. So why do you think that through social media and through different things that people are so quick to be so confrontational?
People can be anonymous and they don't have to show face.
Okay.
They can say nonsense that's on their mind and in their hearts that they don't have to show up and defend in person. So it makes it easier for people to just be, say lies. And then, the text is hard too. When people are so used to and encouraging communication through text, a lot of the soul is missing.
And do you think that, how do you find that you're able to kind of navigate that? Because a lot of people give you a lot of credit for it, but a lot of people obviously attack you or come at you or try to start a beef with you when it doesn't really seems like you're just trying to have a discussion as opposed to start a problem.
Well, I definitely feel like online is a battleground, and I feel like the internet is a battleground for cultural issues, and it's hard for people because I also live this real life. As you see, I'm touring 250 days a year. I'm dealing with real people, but I'm also online in that world too.
Right.
And I think too many people ignore it, and I think the rise of the Trump era has to do with that side of it. The Breitbarts of the world, the Steve Bannons of the world, and the InfoWars, and the Daily Wires of the world, understanding that people are not going to vet their sources, and people are not going to take the time to research to see.
Or be accountable.
Yeah, people are, and accountability just doesn't matter.
Right.
Even with everything is biased. Even with corporate left-leaning news sources like the Washington Post or the LA Times or the New York Times. These things are corporate, but they're more liberal.
Okay.
Right? But if they fuck up, he didn't do that last night. It's for the West Coast. If they fuck up, they make a retraction.
Right.
Like if they're caught doing something wrong, because they don't always get it right, and sometimes they print propaganda at things that are looked at are like, okay, that's not right. But if they get it wrong, if they get their facts wrong, and you can call them on it with empirical evidence, they retract, and that's what makes those institutions credible.
Right.
And now we have an era where people are accepting facts from sites that are opinion sites that have no checks and balances and no need.
And no basis in reality.
No, other than to enable and protect a white supremacist status quo.
Right.
That's the only game plan.
So as far as maintaining like the white supremacist status in America, with social media and with the evolution of how information is spread, how do you think that's evolved from, when we were growing up?
Well, I mean, I honestly think that the people who are, it's become a lot more covert, a lot more coded. When I grew up, you rode a bike through the wrong neighborhood and white boys was like, you nigger, and it was like I had bottles thrown at me from, and I spent time in Brooklyn, I spent time in Connecticut, I dealt with in-your-face racism. That's why my interactions online, a lot of people get stressed out by that. And they'd be like, how could you, and I'm like, that's nothing. I dealt with the shit that you get stressed out. I've dealt with that in real life. When I was a kid and didn't even have the language or the capacity to even deal with it. I had to figure it out as a kid.
Right.
So now those people have moved on to the online platform. They're still in real life, and I'm not a kid no more. So I don't go through kid shit, but I go through it as an adult. I had a show canceled in Germany because I took a pro-Palestinian position.
Right.
Yesterday at the hotel in Phoenix, Arizona, a guy, they thought that they made a mistake with my credit card. It was their fault, but they came and banged on my door. And then when I was like, no, I'm not leaving my room, I'm paying for this room, they threatened to call the police on me. And I was in my underwear, and I had to go downstairs, and I had to tell the dude, I was like, you were scared of me because I'm a black man. I didn't curse at him. I didn't threaten his life, nothing. And immediately 3 questions in to a room, and I'm paying for 7-8 rooms 2 nights in this hotel
Right.
from my credit card. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's like, yo, you gotta go. And if you don't leave, I'm calling the police.
Right.
Immediately, like how you treat a customer in the store.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not your status in life, whether or not you got $800,000 in the bank account, don't actually matter.
Right.
When it comes to systemic oppression.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, you know, as Malcolm X said, you know, if you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book. Now, how do you think that that's evolved with online? Because the information seems like it's more accessible, but it also seems like it's harder to actually find.
Well, it's like anything. It's like Google. You can't win an argument. You can't tell somebody, well, Google it, because they might Google some bullshit.
True.
You can't navigate how they gonna Google.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. Like it's like Serato. Anyone can have Serato.
Right.
Not everybody's gonna be a good DJ just because you got that program.
Right,
you still got to know your music in order to be able to use that tool properly. So the same thing. That's what Malcolm was alluding to, is that people could read, be literate technically, and have access to information, but we live in a system that convinces us that it's wrong to be smart and it's wrong to be informed, and that's quite on purpose.